So Deion Sanders was an all-star in the NFL. He was really one of the best players ever. And he went to an HBCU. So that surprised everybody. Jackson State offered him a job to be the head coach for the football team. And nobody else had offered him a head coaching job, but Jackson State did. So Deion went there and he just electrified the city. They were making a lot more money. They were filling up stadiums. For 2 years, his team was one of, if not the best team in the conference. And he was doing extremely well. So everyone was excited about how this was bringing attention to HBCUs. A lot of the best players had started to attend HBCUs, where a lot of them used to go to the white schools, and the white schools would make money from them. Now you had Jackson State recruiting some of the best out there. Well, then the University of Colorado came along, and they offered Deion $5 million a year. And Deion left Jackson State and to take the job at Colorado. So a lot of people, some people felt it was the best move to make because it was more money, more visibility for Deion, things like that. But then there are some people who felt that it was disappointing because they'd hoped that he would stick it out with HBCUs and help develop HBCUs as an attracting point for the top Black athletes, coaches, et cetera. I'd like to get your thoughts on that because I was kind of mixed too. On one hand, there was a lot of money there for this job. But on the other hand, I saw him really building a very powerful legacy that was going to be to the economic benefit of not just him, but also to the university, to the city of Jackson, and to HBCUs as a whole. Did you have any thoughts on that?
Well, in the context and under the context of powernomics, what one should ask oneself is, how did Black folk benefit from that? How did they benefit from leaving a Black school, going to a white school, or getting more money, or getting more visibility? What did that, at the bottom line, if I were to pour everything through a net and dry it out, what do you get? What's left over? What have Black folk got to show for that whole charade of going from being on a Black team to switching to a white teams? So when you graduate, you can get more money and you can get a little more visibility. I don't understand, because I can't see integration is a degraded situation for Black folk. Why would you get your jollies or your kicks off of being off a white school besides just money? See, if you're fighting for your lives, if you knew your race right now, which they should know, your race holds a world's record, WORLD world record for the longest enslaved people on earth. Why would you get your kicks off of going with a white school just to get more money and more publicity? Why aren't you concentrating on the fact that after 465 years, you own and control absolutely nothing? You own, and you're up now to be eliminated and exterminated from this earth. What did you get out of it? Why would you side with somebody who's in opposition to you? You know they're using you, and you didn't see the Jews running out of the box up there, broadcast box, saying we're gonna put our Jewish athletes in there so they can get more money. They didn't want that kind of money. They wanted to be able to own and control the teams. Where are all the Black teams that Black folk got from all that? Where's all the money they got from it? If they did that starting in the 1940s, and now here we are almost getting close to 100 years, what have they got to show after 40 years of being a show for white folk? Tell me that. I don't understand. I'm at a loss. I don't know. What did you get for being showing? When you don't have any community, you don't have any businesses, you don't have any wealth, you don't have any power, you don't have any unity, you don't have any culture. Your culture has been raped and robbed and stolen, given to everybody. Now you're an artifact for culture for all these groups coming to America. I mean, I'm looking for something. Don't give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give me just one. Give me one thing that Blacks got out of that. And you can start with, as an example, Jackie Robinson. I never understood the importance of all Blacks. We got Jackie Robinson. We got now that the Depression is over and it's 1930s, and Black folk are not going to go in and rebuild their little neighborhoods. They don't have any businesses. They had 20 times more businesses in 1920 per 100,000 Blacks than they got today. They had 20 times more. And I said, what are you going to show for it now? Well, they said, well, in 1938 and 39, what we'll do is that we don't want to own businesses anymore like we were trying to do in 1920s. We came out of slavery. Let's just invite white folks to come in and help us. And since Jews are now pouring into the country from overseas right before World War I, and we'll cut a deal with them, let them come into our community, and we'll help give them businesses. We'll give them authorization to put up businesses in every Black neighborhood in America. And we'll buy from them and patronize them. And we don't need any businesses. And all they got to do is once in a while is whenever something happens to us in a race matter, just side with us as a white person and try to bring some comfort to whites and to us for having been exploited, misused, and murdered. We'll take that. We'll trade off and give them a chance to take some sports figures and line them with that'll make some sense. And so 10 years later, here comes the Brooklyn Dodgers saying, Jackie Robinson, we're gonna make you the first black to go with a white team. You go to a white team and we'll integrate you. Even though everybody's gonna call you a Negro and black and skunk, kinky head, all kind of names, black cats on the field when you're trying to play. And now they said that was a great move. We now got a black boy on a white team. And so what we must do now is, since we are now integrated, we got one black boy playing on all these white teams. Let's integrate and let's destroy all of our teams. We had 2 damn black major baseball teams, 2. Each one of those teams had about 30 or 40 some blacks on it. We had our own baseball fields. We had our own coaches. We had our own managers. We had our own equipment. We had our own buses. We drew crowds every time we had a game where blacks were playing against blacks. And that was the biggest thing in the country. So now they said, well, y'all got to get rid of those black baseball teams and come and sit in the stands and give us your money so we'll let you look at Jackie Robinson. So I'm trying to figure out, and now at that time, blacks made about 65 or 70% of all the baseball players became black. About 72% of all the boxers became black. About 64% of all the football players became blacks. And blacks haven't got a damn thing out of all that stuff. All they do out there is being a showboat, just like they used to be doing slavery, tap dancing and doing the we'll tap dance. This is my name, Skin. His name is Bones. So we're Skin and Bones. I said, oh, mercy.